I think my experiences in kitchens have shaped me in many ways. Crazy high standards. But I believe you can take the best and worst from all these places and it sort of helps you develop into the chef you become later in life. I came up and saw the vision and they just needed to find someone daft enough to take on that vision. The goal was to smash expectations and not everyone likes whiskey. We want people to come here and have an experience that by the end of it, you know you're in a whiskey distillery, but it's not been rammed down your throat. The beginnings of our menu, it's our snacks. So the first snack on the menu, it's a little liver parfait. It's glazed with wild Scottish lingonberries. It sits in a little basket made of cocoa and malt, and it's just dressed with some wild and cultivated flowers from the farm down the road. So the second snack, raw mackerel. It's scored, then lightly torched. Then we glaze it with a little tarry made with smoked mackerel frames. That sits on the side of the plate. In the middle of the plate, we make a little whipped cod's roe and mackerel roe tarma salata. We season that with a little bit of homemade kosho and some salsa matcha. And then on top of the mackerel in the restaurant, we put a shiso leaf. When the guest picks the mackerel and the shiso leaf up, they swipe the tarma salata and they pop it in their mouth. So the third snack is going to be squid tartare, sitting inside a little crustade, black crustade. So we've got a dice of squid in there, and then with the wings and the tentacles, we've made a jelly with some gochujang, a lot of Pernod, some fennel, some pickled onion juice. We set that, we dice it the same size as the squid. We dress that tartare and jelly dice with some squid oil, finger limes, and some coriander stems, so really fresh. And that goes in the crustade, and then on top, there's a little two-tone squid mousse, so one's black, one's white. The final snack, probably one that we're most well known for, is the tati scone. It's originally quite a poor person's dish. We've sort of flipped it on its head a little bit. A bao, a potato bao. Stuff it with potato mayonnaise, a layer of Highland Wagyu, some egg yolk jam, and then on top, a piece of Australian black truffle, some more egg yolk jam, and then tableside we have some beautiful Ossietra caviar. These langoustines, I think these ones are from Skye today. They are going to be for the first larger course on the tasting menu. So this is quite an important step that quite a few people miss out, and it's much harder to remove this poo pipe after cooking. Right here, the coral or the tamale changes colour when you cook it, but it also adds a lot of great concentrated langoustine oceanic flavour. So we put a small amount of this in our langoustine biscuit. We're going to roast the shells and we're going to make a reduction to season the langoustines with. The shells are out of the oven. We've got a bit of roasted tomato puree here. And then we're going to start adding alcohol. So we have Pernod, vermouth, brandy, and of course a little bit of Glenturret 12-year-old. Very delicious. We're going to flame these off individually. Once they're all flamed off individually, we're going to add some stock. It's a light langoustine dashi. We're going to bring this up, take away any nasty impurities. Then we're going to add some vegetables that have been roasted, and then we're going to add some aromats. After that, we're going to pass the stock, then we're going to strain it. We're going to reduce it and we're going to use that in the next part of our langoustine dish. So on the side of the langoustine dish there is a little biscuit, or a biscuit as we call it. First, we've got the langoustine stock that we made today, reduced right down, super concentrated. We've got a little bit of cream here, some cayenne pepper inside, a small amount of the cream mixed with a little bit of corn flour. That cream's come to the boil. We can add the langoustine reduction. Once that comes together, we can add the beurre maniou. And then we just want to cook out that corn flour mix. Now that's cooked out, add a sheet of gelatin. It's already been pre-bloomed or soaked. Langoustine head butter. To emulsify the mix, we're going to bring the stick blender in. This can be done off the heat now that the gelatin's dissolved. To lighten it slightly, some creme fraiche. Just to finish, a little bit of -8 vegetate, so it's tomato vinegar from Niagara in Canada. So we've made the cream to go inside the biscuits, but we're actually going to make the biscuits now. So it's a tweel mix, but we're going to use the coral from this morning for colour and for flavour. Also adds a little bit of stability when we're baking. Mashed potatoes, parmesan, icing sugar, crisp it, some salt, of course, a little bit of isomalt, flour, and egg whites. We're going to blend it all up. Finally, we're going to emulsify in some langoustine butter. So this is the sort of consistency you want. So we're going to get this in the freezer now. And we're going to put it in the Paco Jet. Tweel mix has been in the Paco Jet. So when it's under pressure in the Paco Jet, it does actually change colour the way we want it to for the tweels. So we're going to spread this into the mould. This is custom made for us a few years ago. So this little dish has sent many a chef down in here. The biscuits now, they're baked. Obviously they've changed colour beautifully with the coral. We're going to spray them a little bit just to touch them up with a little bit of coloured cocoa butter. We're going to make the buttermilk sheets. So we make our own butter in-house, and a byproduct of that is lots of buttermilk, cultured buttermilk. Dissolve the agar in the salt in the dashi. We're going to activate the agar. Some gelatin, dissolve that. Just off the heat, otherwise the gelatin's likely to catch on the bottom. And finally the buttermilk. Draining it now through a chinois. I want to try and get it as even as possible. Because there's a small amount of agar in there, it will set quite fast. Just put that somewhere flat, let it set, and then we'll put it in the fridge to get a good chill on it, and then we can portion it. So we can start cutting the shape we want. We're going to pull this off now. So now we're going to plate the langoustine dish, and to help me I've got recently promoted to chef de partie Anna. So first things first, we are going to season the langoustine. So we have the reduction that we made earlier. In there also we have a little bit of moulis, which has been compressed in some charcoal oil. So the reduction and the charcoal oil gives the tartare, even though it's raw, like close to a cooked flavour, even though we've got the beautiful texture of raw langoustine and that really clean flavour at the same time. So next we've got some ossietra here. Because they're all spread out, each bite and spoon of the dish is going to be seasoned all the way through.
So now I'm just going to fill in the gaps with umami gel in between the caviar.
So in that gel is smoked tuna vinegar, a little bit of aged mirin, tiny bit of white soy. So to finish this part of the dish, we're going to just do a little drop of some hung yogurt, a bit of wasabi through it. So here's the langoustine with buttermilk and ossietra caviar. On the side of that dish is the biscuit. We're going to pipe that cream directly onto the body of this biscuit. Then we're going to take this prawn cocktail powder and we're going to dust it on the top.
Okay, so we start the tasting menu tonight, nice and light and fresh with a signature dish from the chef. So we're serving beautiful Scottish langoustine as a tartare. It's brought together with a little touch of moulis radish and finished with buttermilk and caviar. And I just finish off this green herb sauce to really bring the dish together. So here we have basil, parsley, coriander and dill, a little touch of fermented green tomato, jalapeno, and I just finished with the matcha green tea.
With this dish, we are pairing with beautiful Junmai Daiginjo sake from the Keigetsu brewery in the Koshi prefecture of Japan. It's a really clean, refreshing style of sake, really there to enhance the salinity, the freshness of the dish.
The service plays a huge role. We do some small touches and it gives the guests the chance to meet the staff and also just see a bit of the action. They know exactly what they're doing. They know all the food. They're very well trained, but it's not overbearing.
It's all about the welcome and making a guest feel like we know exactly who's coming through the door, that we care. We're tuning into them from the moment they arrive. I think the balance that we strike between classic cookery and food that people truly want to eat while being different enough to leave its mark on you, delicious enough that you want to come back and eat it again.
The team can be themselves rather than being squeezed into a service box that they have to follow this. They can interact with guests. And I think that in turn, as well as the humour that we spoke about, relaxes guests. The team are really good, you know, from someone sitting down, you know, they know that someone's left-handed and the cutlery switches, the guests like, did that just happen? There's more than one way to serve a guest. Emotional intelligence really comes into play. So one of the dishes on the menu right now is sea bream stuffed with Scottish girolles, morto sausage and scallops. We're bang on girole season right now. Weather's been kind to us, so hopefully we can go out into the woods and try and find some. The man we are about to meet is probably one of the best girole finders in the UK. This is Steve McCallum. He is one of our foragers, probably our head forager. He knows all the local spots. He supplies to a very, very small amount of restaurants. We're in peak season right now. We did have a heat wave for the past 2 weeks. Yes, in Scotland there was sun. But they're still in abundance here and we're going to try and find some. And Steve is probably the best man in the UK to do so.
Well, if I'm looking for girole, I'm looking for moss, shade, birch trees, beech trees, that sort of tree, and they're gonna produce. Where water is as well is a good spot to find girole. So ideally, Scottish weather, rain, number one, best place in the world to grow mushrooms. Can't get better.
For a gentle mushroom when it's cooked, I think they're quite peppery.
Yeah,
when they're
definitely.
When they're raw, they're like almost nasturtiumy.
Yeah, no, definitely.
But when they're cooked, the flavour's totally transformed.
They're beautiful, aren't they?
Probably important to say as well that, you know, you shouldn't just go into the forest and pick mushrooms, right? I think you need to know what you're doing. I think this is one of the most recognisable mushrooms, but if you don't know what it is, don't pick it.
Yeah, and don't pick them all.
And don't pick them all, especially, pick what you need. And if you don't know what it is, don't pick it.
Yeah.
Because
it could be your last meal.
It could be your last meal, it could be your last mushroom, for sure. Then let's get back to the restaurant, get these cleaned up a bit, get them ready for the bream dish.
Can't wait to eat that bream dish.
This is the stuffed sea bream. It's stuffed with a scallop mousse, which we have morto sausage chopped through, some chervil. Right now we're stuffing it with chopped girole d'Uxelles, which is from all the trims that we get from the sauce. We start off at a medium heat, kind of medium low, and then bring it up slowly till it's fully caramelized, the skin, and nice and crispy and golden brown. Just gonna trim it up with a nice sharp knife, and then we're just gonna portion it.
So these are the girolles that you saw me picking with Stephen. So we're going to put these into foaming butter. They need very, very little cooking, gentle cooking. So we're just adding some smoked pike roe and some chervil. Pour that up very gently, okay, and we're ready to plate. So we have the clam and mussel sauce with the foraged girolles. This is some lovage oil, some fresh green strawberries. Last thing to go on, sea bream. So here we have the stuffed sea bream, crispy skin, with a little mussel and clam butter with pike roe, girolles and green strawberries.
So we're just going to go through into the tun room and see where the fermentation happens. 3 ingredients for making whisky. You've got malted barley, water and yeast.
And there's quite a few unusual flavours there as well, so
all the flavour of the cocktail.
Plunge it up.
Slange. Cheers.